Sometimes it's nice to just play a sandbox game, a game that's unstructured, without any specific goals or objectives, where you're free to just play around, experiment, and simply have a good time. So here's my picks for the top 10 Sandbox VR games. Most of these are PC VR games, but there are a couple that play on the Oculus Quest as well. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 10. Cosmic Sugar is a zen, trippy, and beautiful interactive particle experience. On each of your hands, you can choose an interaction mode with how you play with the particles. This free version only allows 2 tools. If you want the rest of the tools, those are available through DLC. But there's still plenty of fun to be had in this free version. After you choose a tool, use the trigger button to apply that force. And the forces are pressure sensitive with the trigger button. This may look relatively simple in video footage, but playing this in VR is really special. I highly recommend you try this yourself. It's an absolutely perfect experience for newcomers, but it's also great to come back to again and again. It's a must-have in your library. Number 9. VR Sand is the most literal sandbox game on this list, because you are literally playing with sand inside a box. The controls are straightforward. With your primary hand, you press trigger to create an element of your choosing. The thumb pad will erase. On your secondary hand, press the thumb pad for the palette of different materials and brush size. You can choose which hand you would like to be the dominant hand, and with both hands, use grip to move the box. There's a variety of both solids and liquids to choose from, and painting with all these is pretty cool and satisfying to see how different elements respond and react to each other. VR Sand is $5, and it's the most literal sandbox game out there. Number 8. Tiny Wheels is a sandbox game where you can steer a tiny car through courses and obstacles that you've constructed. There's about 10 items that you can summon to arrange however you like. You can't change their color or material, what you see is what you get. The play area is a fixed size, but you can scale the world up or down at your disposal. You can also scale the items if you click and hold on an item while you're scaling. Press the play button to control the car inside the course you've made. Drive your car around, or return to editing as much as you want. That's really all there is to it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think there's lots of fun to be had in here if you enjoy sandbox games and don't need goals or achievements. For the price of $2, it's a fun, casual budget game. Yeah! Number 7. Chroma Lab is an interactive fluid particle simulation. It gives you some pretty cool tools to interact with and play with the particles. The particles also react to music. This game doesn't include any music, but the particles will react to any audio that's playing on your PC. Playing your own music is a very small price to pay to enjoy this. It's totally worth it. Watching video footage of this does not do it justice. Witnessing this in VR is magical and spellbinding. In each hand you can choose a specific tool, and also the strength of that tool. So you can find fun results by playing with contrasting tools at the same time. My personal favorite is the sphere tool, which will capture and grab particles inside the sphere, but outside the sphere it punches and pushes them away. But there's also advanced settings and tools which will allow you to create planetary orbits and gravitational forces. Chroma Lab is one of my favorite casual time killers. Every time I play in here, it fills me with wonder again. And the $5 price tag is a bargain. Number 6. Kitten'd is perhaps the most unique game on this list. Think of it like your kitten management dreams come true. There's both a story mode and a free play sandbox mode. The game features surprisingly realistic kittens that run amok in a variety of environments, keep up with all the chaos, while earning points for keeping them happy and losing points for everything they destroy. Use points to upgrade your tools, like a better poop vacuum. That's all in the main story mode with specific goals to achieve, but doing so will unlock toys and tools in the relaxed sandbox mode. And as you would expect, the sandbox mode is simply about enjoying life with kittens while taking care of them and playing with them as you please. Dress them up, change their color, and enjoy their company. The graphics are really great, and the AI cat personalities feel realistic. It's the best cat simulator I've seen in VR, and if you're a cat lover, then this sandbox game will keep you entertained for many hours. Number 5, Waltz of the Wizard is one of the oldest games on this list, but it's a timeless classic. Combine various ingredients into the bowl in front of you to create magic spells and transform the world around you. Just try different ingredients to experiment and see what happens. There's also musical spells that, when played correctly, will transport you temporarily to other realms. If you enter the door on your left, you'll go through a dangerous maze, which has you combating deadly enemies with your magic. The maze is cool, but for me, the wizard home is the good stuff. It's a lot of fun to just freely play in this sandbox, seeing all the magical spells you can discover. The original version is free, and is still free, but there's now a deluxe version, which is $10 and has much more content. Number 4. In Garden of the Sea, you have been given a small island cottage in a thriving magical world. When you start the game, there's no explicit tutorial or guide. The world is yours to explore and discover on your own. But if you observe, you'll quickly understand how things work. You'll first notice crafting recipes on pieces of paper. These show you which elements to mix together to create more complex objects for decorating or building. The raw elements for those recipes you'll either need to find in the wild, chop from trees, or grow yourself in your own custom-made garden. Thankfully, there's a place in your cottage to collect all the recipes because you'll find a lot of them. Besides growing a garden or constructing, you can also nurture the local wildlife. Here, I helped out a friendly bird by growing the food it was craving in my garden and feeding it. There's also a boat at your disposal to explore new areas and find new resources. There's the occasional puzzle or building challenge that you'll come across, but this game feels quite liberating as you're completely free to do whatever you want in this world. It was recently released in early access, so there's much more planned for the future, but at the price of $6, it's already a fantastic value. Number 3. Deisim is a sandbox god game where you create a following of people that build civilizations. The way you grow your civilization is by building terrain according to your people's needs. At first, you don't have many options. It's limited to grass, forest, and lakes. Above the city center, you can see the thing they need most, like lumber, food, or fish. As their needs are met, that particular city will develop. Be sure to build lots of flat land, because after you've created enough of an expanse, more settlements will appear and your people will flock there to start a new city. The more people that exist and worship you, the more mana you can spend to build terrain. Besides terrain, you'll also need mana to create animals for hunting, provide miracles to stop a disaster, or even create a disaster if you're mad at them. As you become a more powerful god, you can build more variety in terrain like ice and desert. And in that unique terrain, more types of civilizations will appear. While managing your people, be on the lookout for heretics. They take away people's faith in you, so killing them is very important. Once you have more cities, you're going to be very busy between all the things you want to build and dealing with all the heretics that appear. Deisim is available on both Steam and the Oculus Quest if you sideload it. And it's a good deal too, at just $8. Number 2. Luna is a visually beautiful abstract VR experience. After an introduction cutscene, you'll progress through a handful of worlds. At the start of each world, you need to assemble a constellation shape with missing stars. After filling in the shape, you move on to the gardening portion. You have a floating flower that grants you items to place, like trees, flowers, and grass. After placing them, you can resize them, choose a color, and reshape them. As you add more flora, the world becomes more alive with wildlife and activity. After the world is filled in, it will fully come to life and then finish the story for that section. Then you can move on to the next world. So unlike most of the games on this list, there is a little bit of structure to how the story unfolds, but it's largely a self-paced sandbox garden. The visuals are really beautiful, and the sound design is expertly crafted. Out of all the sandbox games, Luna has the best design and aesthetic. I completed it in a little over an hour, and at the end I was treated to a gorgeous end credit sequence that was totally worth sitting through. The price is $15. Luna would be number 1 on this list if it wasn't for Fujii. Fujii is a meditative puzzle journey about restoring balance to nature. The main story consists of 3 chapters in which you leave your home garden to solve puzzles and retrieve more resources. This game is all about interacting with the world around you. It's all very tactile and extremely immersive since everything is about engaging with the plants and animals directly, and not through menus or text. The 3 chapters outside your home are about puzzles and exploration, while the gameplay inside your home is all about growing and caring for plants. After you plant a seed, you need to store up water in your arms that you can then give to the plants. After some watering, the plants then need attention from you through your loving touch. After giving them some affection, they may need another splash of water or 2 before they're fully grown. Once plants are fully grown, they'll reward you with glowing orbs that are the currency of the game. Use the currency to buy more seeds, or more pots to place around your home. This game squeaks by Luna for the number 1 spot because you get more bang for your buck with Fujii. I completed the 3 chapters in under 2 hours, and after that's done, the real sandbox content begins because your home becomes the ultimate plant life garden, as every type of seed and pot is unlocked for you. So you can indefinitely continue to grow plants and arrange your home however you like. The price is $15, and it's available on both Steam and Oculus Quest. If you only buy 1 game on this list, make it Fujii. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. See ya!